You know, some people may not be as fortunate. Fireworks and the heat certainly taking a toll on Americans and North Texans specifically. We want to bring in the experts to talk about this, an ER influx. And Dr. Fahmi Farah is with us this morning, medical expert. Doctor, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So what are we seeing here this time of year, July 5th in the ERs? Heat and fireworks, is that probably what we're dealing with for the most part?
Heat, yes. There can be some fireworks-related injuries that, ER will be seeing today and late yesterday. But heat-related admissions, yes, there is an influx of that due to dehydration.
So dehydration is the biggest thing. What are some other concerns that people need to be aware of when it comes to just how hot it is right now?
People need to be very careful with their exposure and long-term, staying outdoors, because one of the biggest concerns is heat stroke. And, unlike what a lot of people think, it actually doesn't take that long to get to that stage. So staying hydrated and not staying outdoors for long periods of time is a very important thing during this time of the year.
Does the influx into the ER and the number of people and the increase with the heat, does that impact staffing at all? I mean, is it noticeable enough to where you guys truly are getting an influx because of the heat and have to adjust?
Sometimes, yes, especially during the months of July and August. It's the hottest month in Texas. And so, yes, we usually do see quite a few patients, and the number and the rate increases quite a bit. So the staffing, the hospitals and the ERs, they do have to be prepared for that.
We're speaking with Dr. Fahmi Farah. She's a medical expert based here in the Lone Star State. And yesterday there were heat warnings and watches in effect for nearly 150 million people. That was across 21 states during the 4th of July. Do you know how we fared as far as hospital visits this 4th of July in general, if you don't have an exact number?
I don't have an exact number, but there is an influx in pretty much across the board, especially in the state of Texas, with the heat exposure that we're seeing. It's not just heat stroke, but mostly due to dehydration.
Yeah, drinking that water and obviously planning ahead of time, too, because as Brad Barton, our meteorologist here, says, you can't catch up. You can try to drink as much water as you can after you're feeling sick, but it's too late at that point, right?
That is correct. There's heat exhaustion and heat stroke they can be dangerous. And that hyperthermia, basically, whenever you're exposed to heat for long enough, your body's cooling mechanism kind of shuts off and you go into a condition called hyperthermia, where your body just rapidly starts to heat up. And that's very dangerous. That's when you're rapidly getting into the heat stroke zone. And that can cause internal organ damage and even death. So it's very dangerous. It can be, and that's why caution is definitely advised.
Dr. Fahmi Farah, trying to keep us safe during the heat. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.